What you think, sir? What you think?
I like it, brother. I like it.
Nice. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. So we are here. I don't want to dwell on it, Kris, but we are here on the eve of probably one of the most important elections of your lifetime and my lifetime. I know there were some big things that happened in our lifespan, but to me, I was raised in a political climate, and partisan stuff aside, I'm not throwing shade in any direction. I think tomorrow's election and the outcome of tomorrow's election are going to define a lot of things in this country for a long time.
Yeah,
right.
I just wish fools could just get along, man, and try to figure this thing out. I think you were on the thread.
Mm-hmm.
We can't even have a conversation about policies and efforts without getting mad. I'm like, dude, I just want to know, do you like X? I'm like, damn, people getting mad.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it was a simple question that you were trying to hold. You were trying to hold like just an open debate on both sides of the aisle of someone who, really stood for one side and someone else who really stood for the other side. It wasn't going to be an argument. It wasn't going to be a battle. It was simply, where do you feel this country needs to go forward? Right?
Sad, man. I mean, you're not going to believe how many hate emails I get. And it was weird. People be like, Kris, I can't believe you voted for Trump. Then somebody be like, Kris, I know you ain't voting for Biden.
Right.
I'm like, what?
You were trying to hold an open discussion because of the climate that we're in. I mean, people will see this video for years and years and years, but we're in November 2nd, 2020. We have a very important election tomorrow in the United States. And that kind of brought me to inviting Kris on this evening, is really to get the perspective of someone. Well, actually, let me rewind, Kris. For my viewers that don't know who you are, give me like a 10,000 square foot view, what you've done, where you've been, like rewind for us and then bring us to where we are now.
Yeah, Kris, thanks for having me on. It's an honor to be with a real entrepreneur. A lot of posers out there. But yeah, so I graduated Hampton University in 99, went to the music business to 2004, went broke, sleeping on my friend's couch, $80 in my pocket in 2004, went to real estate and been doing that since then, and just 2010 started teaching others to make money in real estate. So here we are.
Yeah. So your background, you started in real estate in what year?
2004.
2004. So 16 years plus or minus. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what brought me to bring you on tonight is something that you actually launched not long ago, over your experiences in real estate, is a course that you introduced. When you launched it, probably 2 months ago?
Yeah, that's going to be Labor Day weekend 2020.
Okay. And so for me, for a lot of my followers, a lot of my viewers know that I'm a business owner, entrepreneur. I dibble and dabble in real estate on different spectrums, and found you on YouTube. We say it all the time. When you're looking for something, or when the student is ready, as they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Yeah.
And a lot of your content kind of grabbed me, and that's where I reached out to you a few years ago, and we've been networking ever since.
Yeah.
But as we started off this evening talking about the insecurities or the unknowns of the political climate, how would you feel right now if you were a traditional landlord? If you had so we're in the middle of COVID-19, we're month number 7, number 8. You have a traditional tenant, right? Traditional tenant that month number 2 says, "Hey, Mr. Landlord, Mr. Kris Haskins, I'm not sure, if where everything's going forward. Am I going to be able to pay rent?" I mean, how does that person feel now, 8 months later? I know every scenario is different, but how does that person feel?
Yeah, it's rough, Kris. My heart goes out to my traditional, conventional landlords out there that are renting to private pay tenants. With the moratorium, I think there was one moratorium dropped in the summer of 2020. Then another one came out towards the end of the summer, fall. you can't get people out, and rightfully so. I mean, nobody thinks that you should even be getting evicted because it's spreading COVID. Like they were saying, the CDC is saying, when you get evicted, where do you go? Move in with family or go to a homeless shelter, and there's more people around. So
Right.
it's just a mess all around, brother. And the landlord loses.
Yeah. I mean, I've even heard, I think you can probably relate, that a lot of the traditional landlord tenants right now, or excuse me, the tenants with traditional landlords in the urban environment are very fearful because a lot of people, due to the pandemic, are looking to move to the suburbs. They're looking to get out of that urban environment, that close proximity.
That's right.
Right.
Right. Yeah, they're trying to get out. No, our mutual friend Dan.
Mhm.
Man, people are leaving out of New York City. I'm sure they're leaving out of the DC area. I can only imagine Chicago is following suit, and
Sure.
so on the story goes. But yeah, we're moving out to the suburbs, which is good for us though, because I'm down here. I would be considered rural compared to you up there with the high density that you have. So down here, we don't have a big problem with that.
Right.
Matter of fact, we just sold a house, Chris, that people didn't even see it.
Yeah.
They bought it sight on a video. So we that's a deal we're doing together. But people moving, they're done. They're done.
I mean, literally, you explained to me that this realtor basically contacted you and said, "Hey, I have a client. They're interested in the property," and she basically went live on her phone and walked the couple through the house, and they're somewhere up in the Northeast, and you're down in Hampton Roads area, and they wrote a contract. I mean, it's like they're trying to get out of that environment. So
that was 2 weeks ago, Chris, and it's ironic I brought that up. They just saw the house today. They came in town. I think they were like from Connecticut or Vermont or something.
Okay.
They came in town today. They saw it today, and they're like, let's roll. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the reason for me bringing you on is something that you created, that you took your time, your experience, your 16 plus years in real estate, and put together a course on how to almost become, shall I say, recession proof, or would that be an accurate statement to say that?
Yeah, man. I'm just like, I remember hearing what people say, I chose not to participate in the recession. And I used to be like, man, how is that possible? How can you elect not to participate? And I finally figured it out. I mean, it took a while, but yeah, you can actually do that.
That is awesome. So what we're talking about, actually, your course here, right? So this is the Landlord's Guide to Section 8 Housing, correct?
Yep. That is it.
Oh, I really want to ask you first and foremost, how did you even come up with this? Like, what was it that sparked to say, boom, I've been doing it for all these years. How do I put this course together? What do I put, these different modules together and then present it to my fellow, whether it be a new real estate investor, a long-term real estate investor, and we'll get to that in a minute. But what drove you to put this together?
Yep. Good question. So being a businessman, there's a book called Blue Ocean, Red Ocean Strategy, I think it's called.
Okay.
And everybody's doing the wholesaling, flipping, and which is cool. I mean, we make money in that space too. But I'm like, man, what can I do to set myself apart? Not only that, what do I know inside and out? So I remember when I paid off my first property, my first Section 8 tenant occupied property.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know what? This is cool. Then I started paying off another one and another one. And I'm like, you know what, man? I think the word needs to get out about how positive partnering with the United States government can be. And not to mention as much bad stuff as they have done to my community as the United States government has been responsible for over the years, which I don't want to get into today.
Mm-hmm.
We can go back over that. But I'm like, if they're going to give opportunities for every homeowner to partner with them to house one of their tenants and they guarantee the rent, let's at least take a look at it,
Yeah. Wow. So with that, as I just mentioned, would you consider this course ideal for the new real estate investor, or would you consider this course ideal for someone who's been doing it for many, many years, or does it really actually apply to both?
Oh man, both, big time.
Yeah.
So take for instance the new investor. When I was getting in the game or coming up through the ranks, I would always be like, oh Lord, what if I can't find a tenant? What if I'm that one guy that has a vacancy that just for the next 12 months, I just won't be able to fill the property, right?
Mhm.
What if I just can't find a tenant that's going to pay the rent on time every month? That would just be so concerned,
Right.
worried, nervous. And then now that I have been in the business for quite some time, I'm like, okay, do I want to deal with private pay tenants? I think I'll stick to my government subsidized tenants. So I'm still staying in that vein, being a seasoned landlord. So it's just paramount for both. And even if you don't even have a property, you can get the course and learn how to play. What we do, we help people, other landlords, place tenants in their property because it's a skill getting the right tenant.
Oh, I'm sure. And actually, that's kind of what I wanted to go over with you is the way you structured this course. So obviously during COVID, most of us are stuck at home. We're looking for information, and we're searching the World Wide Web. We're searching the internet, looking for stuff that interests us. Even as we are now on YouTube and Facebook, people are looking for that information, right? So myself as an investor in real estate was really taken back when I actually first looked at your course and saw how it was broken down. And I wanted to kind of give you an opportunity to speak on how the course is put together. And as you have it set down in different modules.
That's right.
Your first module is locating tenants, which you just touched on. So in this course, as I was going through, it was awesome to understand your method of proven steps on how to locate those tenants. So not to give away the whole course, but can you touch on like a key strategy or what they'll learn in this course on how to properly locate the tenant?
Sure, yeah, I'll give it all away. I don't care, man. The more I give, I don't care, man. Locating tenants is a skill you got to learn. Not only do they have a special website that you can go to, but it's the language that you're going to use off the websites too, with the Craigslist and the Facebook Marketplace. How do you find these people? What magic language are you going to put into your ad copy to attract the right tenant? And what we call it is an ideal tenant. I have an acronym that kind of stands for interested. They need to be diligent, empathetic, their attitude, and long term. That's what we're looking for. The ideal tenant, somebody you're looking for. Locating the prospect, as Ron LeGrand says, locating the tenant is just the first step, And I mean, there's so many different things that you have to do. The main thing is the ad copy, features, benefits. What do you put in there? A lot of people just put 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, kitchen.
Right.
It burns me up. I'm like, dude, you've got 750,000 words you could use out of the English language to magnify or describe your unit, and you're just going to put a feature. I'm just like, come on, man, put some soul, some spirit into this ad copy, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to how a traditional realtor will write the description, schedule the professional photo shoot, schedule the professional video walkthrough. It's all the pre stuff. It's how you package the whole thing, how you present it.
That's right, man. Pictures, yep. So locating the tenants is the first. It's just the first step to getting this thing done. Where are they hiding? Where do they hang out at?
Right. So now, like the way you broke this whole course apart, the next thing is you're actually showing them how to get that tenant to attract the tenant, but then how do you screen the tenant? So can you explain kind of similar to screening a perfect buyer, right? You look at the offer that was written, you look at the letter of the loan letter from their financial institution. On the Section 8, I'm sure that's a little bit different because the funds in a sense are secured. Yeah. What do you do to screen the tenant?
Oh yeah, it's paramount. If you don't get anything, if all the course taught you was how to screen tenants, you get your money's worth. Screening tenants is the most important step to having your ideal tenant. Who are we looking for, right?
Yep.
And we have, I guess one would call it proprietary steps that we do. We do a home visit, Kris. Every tenant that moves in one of my places, I go by their property and take a look at how they're living now.
Yeah.
Because from my experience,
I said, no, that's got to be, to see how someone's current living conditions will define how they're going to treat your property.
That's right. I would say 9 out of 10 times. You can't do it. I would say that 1 out of 10 you can't do because they could be living with a relative, or they could actually be in between, have already moved out and kind of maybe,
Okay.
the lease was over and they might be in a hotel for a week. But 9 out of 10 times you can't do it. And I'll tell you that one time that I can remember, it's like yesterday, that one time I didn't screen or do my home visit turned out to be a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Screening tenants is so important. Yeah, background check, make sure they were there. Does their current landlord love them? For me, it's like, I want to love my tenants. I don't want to do business with people that I hate or that hate me. I'm like, listen, I want them to. I give my tenants birthday cards. We mail them out gift certificates. We get them Christmas. So it's like, I want to be positive influence in their life, not just somebody that's just collecting rent. I want to make sure that they have a warm experience living with us, and they're not going to get it anywhere else.
No, and to me personally, so I personally, I haven't done Section 8 yet. I've done a couple flips and, some investment stuff. But I remember recently you saying you had a Section 8 tenant moved out maybe in the last 6 months or so that's been with you for like 15 years or 14 years or something like that.
Yeah, they stay for a long time. Well, we set our leases up so that they're long-term leases.
Okay.
I don't know how long. I don't remember how long they're with me, but they're all my tenants. They don't even 3 years is minimum, and you get, even with the course, you're gonna get my lease, which allows you to have your tenants there for long term. But 3 years is going to be the minimum amount of time that we want a tenant. If you can't do that, we don't want to do business with you.
Right. So now you've gone through the screening process, right? And as I followed through your course, you're then able to train myself and potential folks here joining us on this video of how to go through the pre-inspection process. And I'm assuming through your experience, your due diligence, and the years that you've done it, you already know what Section 8 is looking for. You already know the criteria.
Well, the good thing about it is we have a housing specialist on the training, on the Landlord's Guide to Section 8 that she helped me put together. It's a 4-page pre-inspection checklist, Kris. I put it together. I gave it to her. She added her stuff in there. We came up with it together, so we didn't miss anything step by step. What do you need before the Section 8 housing inspector arrives? As a matter of fact, she's an inspector too. Rosanna Rodan Jackson. She's where she is in Cali. The housing caseworkers are the inspectors. So we get twofold with her. So she's in the course too, and she helped me come up with that document. And you better know.
I would assume, because it's a federally funded program, that the inspection is probably about the same from state to state.
Oh yeah, it's the same.
Yeah,
it's the same. They look for the same stuff.
Okay, cool. And then as I came through the course, you then actually touched on the next module was post inspection, after the inspection, right?
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about what the course provides and what you teach on the post inspection?
So for me, it was like, I remember doing it for the first time. Inspector came out, I passed, got a little certificate. I'm like, okay, I'm good, I passed.
Right.
What do I do now? I mean, what do I do? I'm looking around like, nobody's telling me anything.
Right.
Okay. And you know how hard it is to get any government worker on the phone. So I'm sure you know. So I passed the inspection and I'm like, what do I do now? Who do I call? What do I talk to? Trying to get somebody on the phone. Can they move in? Can they not move in? How much is the rent? How much is the tenant's portion? So I kind of break that down for you, and I show you my documents from my housing contracts that I've received. Where do you look at on the paperwork for the tenant's portion? There's another checklist that you walk through the property with the tenant, so you can see if any small repairs or, let's say, stains or hole in the wall that the inspector may have missed. You don't want to have your current tenant responsible for that stuff. So that's 2 pages where you just walk through the property with the new tenant to get them acclimated to any small little things that may be wrong with the property that's not really major, but it could add up for taking money out of their security deposit.
Gotcha. So, I mean, after your experiences, and I'll mention to you guys, we have the pleasure of having Kris Haskins on this video with us, explaining the Landlord's Guide to Section 8 Housing. It's a course that he's created from his many, many years of doing real estate and using guaranteed government funds to make sure his rent is paid to him as the landlord. And he put together this step-by-step course, which I've thoroughly enjoyed going through. I had the privilege of working with him on some of the graphic content, to present the presentation, the course. But now actually watching the course and studying the course, I've gotten to a point now, Kris, and I'll let you touch on. You actually have some bonuses in there. You have a few people in there that are not necessarily presented as part of the package. Do you want to touch on those folks?
Yeah, two actually. I think of. I mean, so much stuff.
Yeah.
Over 40 videos on Daniel Barrero's. He's got over 300 doors. He's a landlord. He does. I think he's obviously done Section 8. He was getting away from it, but as we were talking lately, he's going to get back into it because he's in New York.
Right.
Not really landlord friendly up there. However, during this COVID-19, my thing is, why not? Why not? I don't care where you at.
Yeah. I mean, you touched on a good point. I didn't think about it, but I know we had mentioned that Dan and his business has been feeling a little bit of the exit of New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how many people in a populated area like New York City that's already pre-qualified for government-assisted housing that are just looking for a place right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't imagine, brother.
I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine.
It's just like having. I think it's just like selling hamburgers inside of an amusement park. You could write your own ticket.
Yeah. So with this course, you touched on it just a bit, and I'll go back and rewind. In addition to the training modules, the videos that they'll be able to go through step by step, what else is included? I know you mentioned that one of the documents you get. Do you get everything, like your whole process?
So we're gonna on those 4 modules. It's going to teach you how to locate, screen, and place your next government subsidized tenant.
Okay.
No questions. You're going to know this stuff from A to Z. I mean, I've been doing it since 2007. Oh boy, my stomach is just quivering as I'm thinking about all those inspections that we went through. You're going to know how to pass your inspection. You're going to get all my documents, the landlord verification, what questions to ask the current and previous landlord before the tenant moves in.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get my employment verification. We have to verify that if they're working, how long they've been there, how much do they make an hour, can they afford to pay their portion of the rent, my lease, my application, and the checklists for the tenant and the landlord before the inspector gets there. So everything's covered, man. You're covered A to Z. If you want to get into Section 8 housing, this is the I love saying the, right? The only course out there in existence.
Yeah. So I know for my viewers, you have this course. I'll put a link in the description below. They can click on the link, order the course. So I did a little bit of research earlier today, and I'm curious to know. And so let me share. I went online and I searched trying to figure out. Can you see that?
Yeah. Voucher.
So I can get the certified voucher. I can become a certified voucher specialist to do Section 8 housing.
What's that? I don't even know what that is.
Right. So it's almost identical to what your course offers.
Okay.
You become accredited to now lease or rent your property as a Section 8 landlord.
Nice.
They're looking $825, right? That's not bad. Then I found this other one, Fair Housing and Reasonable Accommodation Certification, which is, if you looked at the description, it's the same thing. And they are asking $899 for that. Okay.
Look at that.
And
I never knew that it was out there, Kris.
There was a 5-minute Google search this afternoon. I said, I just want to know what does it mean? Right. So your certification, what your course teaches, is probably 10 times what they're teaching, right? And they're charging upwards of $1,000 or $900.
Wow!
But it's a 1-day course, an online course that I sit in front of my computer and I take these little quizzes and tests, and then I get my accreditation to be a Section 8, quote unquote, Section 8 certified landlord, right?
Yeah.
I had to do it because I was just curious. Like, I know. Actually, I'll let our followers know on here. Kris does have a discount for us today, so his course is not his normal retail price. But I found it funny because when I went and did the research and then realized what I paid for your course, it's like, dude, I only paid like a third of that, and now Kris is actually willing to discount that even more for my subscribers here. I'm like, dude, maybe
No brainer.
it's a no-brainer.
No brainer.
And I think you'll agree a lot of this is based on relationships. It's you didn't call me and say, Kris, you got to buy this course. You said, Kris, I'm putting together a course about Section 8 houses or Section 8 housing as a landlord. You have any interest? I'm gonna, put this special out Labor Day weekend. I'm like, all right, I'll take a look at it. And I think a lot of people watching are probably the same way and maybe almost intimidated to understand how you've explained this course and how simple it is because you've already done it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not Mr. Landlord who's owned a house for all these years and I'm chasing the tenants around. And I can literally take at my own convenience, go through your course when I have the time to do it. I mean, what value does that bring?
Yeah, on the phone anytime and download the docs.
Yep.
That's why when I'm creating it, I'm like, good God, I wish this was out back in the day when I first started, man. I would have probably saved so much money and getting my tenants in faster,
Right.
Passing inspections, not losing money on 1 year leases. Good gracious.
Yeah. But no, I mean, so I wanted to touch on one thing, and then let's share that the coupon code that they can enter. I'll put it in the video description as well.
Gotcha.
But let's touch on one quick thing that I actually had a question about is traditionally, do your tenants, your Section 8 tenants, stay well above and beyond the term of their original agreement?
Oh, yeah. I think I've had,
Yeah.
I can't even. They've been with me so long, Kris. I mean, they usually leave because they're either their income has changed, like their kid has grown up.
Right.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They're graduating high school and they no longer qualify to stay in my place. Mm-hmm. Generally speaking, oh, yeah, I did have that lady with me since 2000. You're right. I did. She was with me for a while. Let me tell you what happened to her. Her daughter moved out. Same thing.
Okay.
Her voucher, her portion of the rent started going up and up and up and up and up. And then next thing, finally, she was paying like 90%. I think the rent was like $1,100. She was paying $1,000. She's like, Kris, there's no reason for me to even be on the system anymore, man. But she couldn't afford it, so she got something cheaper. But yeah, what I've seen is usually, Kris, they don't, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, half empty, half full, they stay with you for quite a while if you treat them good. I just love my thing is, listen, why not take care of somebody you know your rent is good? It's not like a traditional tenant where you take care of them and then they may screw you not paying. Mm-hmm. You know the rent is good. Why not just treat these people like queens and kings? Well, usually treat them. If you treat them nice, they'll love you.
Yeah,
because everybody else is already dogging them out for being on the system, so to speak. So it's like, if you're that one person that, listen, I'm going to treat you with integrity, and that's a big part of the course at the beginning. The first module, we didn't go over it. Talks a lot about posture, attitude, empathy. How do you treat these people? Mentality. Man, that's really big when you're interfacing with these tenants. You don't want to come from a place of power. You want to come from a place of empathy with these people.
Yeah. I mean, and from your experience, just for the viewers that are watching and are going to see this video, at what point did you realize Section 8 was not for low income people per se? The epitome of what we would consider a poor person, someone that's come and tear up your property.
Oh, yeah. I realized that it wasn't at the beginning. Obviously, at the beginning, I had no idea what to do. Just trying to figure out what to do. I say about 3 or 4 years in, when I maybe had my third or fourth Section 8 tenant, I'm like, these people are just looking for a break in life, just like the rest of us.
Yeah,
they just cannot afford the rents in this surrounding area. In Hampton Roads, the minimum 3-bedroom is going to be at the bottom is going to be $1,000, which, you know, could be high or low. I don't know where you're at in the country.
Yeah.
Some people can't afford it. They can't. They really need the help from the government, and they're looking for somebody to treat them with respect, dignity, and it's a mutually beneficial agreement. They'll take care of your place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. You say that number. I mean, every area around the country is different as far as rent or Section 8 allowable. If you so you're in Hampton Roads, Virginia area. I'm in Washington, D.C. If you took a 3-bedroom in Washington, D.C., anywhere south of 1,800 square feet, you're probably $2,500 a month in Section 8.
Yeah.
I mean, so as Kris mentioned, he's got this course. The link is in the description below. Kris is actually offering you guys $100 off his course. Click the link below. You can enter the coupon code Kris to get $100 off his course.
Yep.
And
people.
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, I'd really like to thank you for this. I mean, a lot of people don't find what they're looking for. As I showed those screens, you go to Google or Bing or wherever, and you're looking how to do this. Guys, this course, literally, it is a step-by-step course. Kris explains each step, how to back the documents. He backs up with a fair choice housing voucher inspector, right? He backs it up with a real estate developer in New York City, 300 doors, as we know, who's been through all the trials and tribulations. And even Dan Barrero praised this course to say, wow, I never looked at it like that. All right.
That's something, right? That's something.
Yeah. So, but Kris, I mean, any final thoughts for them? Anything that maybe I left out, or any real reason for someone to maybe take a second look at Section 8 housing? Maybe they've painted a picture, that it's not the best thing in the world. Is there anything that, you touched on in this course that I know, anything that you wanted to add as to why someone should at least explore this way of managing their real estate?
Well, the first thing is the moratorium right now, as we approach the end of the year, no evictions. So there is no incentive to pay rent. And whether your tenants will pay rent or not, I don't know. Number two, live your life for you, right? As I've gotten older, I don't care about what people think. We just had a kid. A lot of people are like, Kris, you're too old to have a kid. I'm like, I want to live my life for me. Section 8 tenants, I know the rent's going to get paid. Excuse me, my newborn's screaming. So
no problem.
I know we're going to get paid. When I tell people I still to this day, Kris, I tell people I'm a Section 8 landlord. They look at me like I don't know, I'm some type of crazy person for renting to Section 8. But my rents are paid and yours aren't. It's like my rents are paid. I don't even get, you're calling me for help, but so I want you to live your life for you. Take referrals and take advice from the people that are doing this business, not talking about doing it, y'all. So, just please be careful who you listen to, because we have several Section 8 tenants. I paid off several houses with this voucher program, and you can do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great points. So guys, look, I'll put the link in the description. Let me put it up one more time. Kris is offering us $100 off if you just enter the coupon code Kris. You'll get the entire course. You can, as I said, you can do it at your own leisure. It's not like you're signing up for a one-day seminar. It's something that you can go through when you have time to do it. You can go back. And Kris, actually, I didn't even mention in the course, when you finish a module, you actually added a quiz in there to make sure people really do understand how to do it. Is that correct?
It's ironic you brought that up. Yeah, every section has a quiz, and if you fail the quiz, you die. So I'll come for you, but I'm just joking. Yes, about 8 or 9 questions, and it's okay if you don't get them all. I just want you to make sure that you understand if you're getting this stuff, and it's not like it's that hard.
No. What I appreciated about it is it's a refresher, because in each module, there's multiple videos. You said how many total videos did you do for this?
Over 40. I can't remember.
Over 40 videos. and you have all these modules along with the special guests that you have on, and it's just a refresher. I mean, once as I've done, you log in and you do something else and something distracts you, just replay the video again, right?
Yep. That's why I like it too. Play it on your own because everybody's busy.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, for me, I've never done Section 8. It was never something that interested me until recently when I thought about the current environment that we're in, right? We're in this pandemic right now, 2020. We're on the eve of an election. We don't know what's going on or what's going to happen. How can I secure my investment as best as possible moving forward, right?
That's right, brother. I mean, there is no other way to look at it, Kris. You need to partner up with the U.S. government. They have programs for you. Why not use them?
Yeah. I mean, what did you say? The Section 8 program is the best tenant a landlord could ever ask for.
I like that. Because
even if the government's covering 80%, whatever your skin in the game is at least being covered plus some. Everything else is even, more profit per se.
Yeah, at least I always look at it like you can have a traditional tenant tear your place up and not pay rent. But even if your Section 8 tenant messes the place up, at least you're getting your rent.
Right.
At least you're getting your rent, So the government's paying the majority of the rent anyway.
Yeah. Cool, man. Look, man, I really appreciate it. One last time, if you guys are interested in the course, this, of course, this is not a sales pitch. If you're interested, if something about this intrigues you, that's why Kris put it together. He and I both really, really implore about sharing information. Of course, it cost him time and money to put this together. So there is a minor fee, right? But he's giving you an awesome discount coupon code right there. Kris, $100 off. Kris, anything further? That's all.
Plus, think about it. My thing is, look, if you ever lost a month's rent, you've lost more money than the course. Once you put a Section 8 tenant in there, your boy, I'm helping you not lose rent no more. I mean, how much rent have you lost over the years? A few dollars you're gonna give me.
Yeah. Or just the transitional loss. You have a tenant that's under a 1-year contract. It's going to take you 30 to 60 days, maybe even sometimes 90 days to then remarket, rescreen a traditional tenant. You still lost 2 to 3 months worth of rent, right?
They may not pay.
And they may not. You lose that, they move in, tear your place up, and they still don't pay. Right?
Basically, man. So yeah, my wife always says, Kris, you're too cheap. I'm a high eye on the disc analysis, so I know I give away too much value, man. But I only have a few years on planet Earth.
Yeah,
I want to be the best human. I want to be the one that, when they look back and say, man, he gave a lot of value to the community, and that's what I want to be. Yeah,
man, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, Kris, do you want to share with my followers, my subscribers here, if they have questions, concerns, whatever, is the best way to contact you?
Yeah, man, I don't even know. I think I don't do fake. I would say shoot me a message on Instagram. Probably I get the phone on that, or you can comment on any YouTube videos. Best thing to do.
Post a comment below. Kris and I'll both get notifications. If you got a comment, put that comment below.
Yeah.
Most importantly, guys, if this content has given you value, added to value in your life or into your business, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Kris Haskins, if I just search Kris Haskins on YouTube, they can find you, I'm sure.
Yep, you can do that. Or if you just type in, what is it, section8money.com is another website, or just Landlords, Section 8 Landlord on YouTube. We got 8 out of the 15 videos on there. That's crazy.
Nice. Awesome. All right, man. That's all I have for you, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, good seeing you too, Kris.
All right, man. Talk to you soon, guys. See you later.
Peace.